It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning
from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, a 28-year-old man is in police custody following the death of his wife early this morning. The Minister for Defense, Timothy Natuva, has defended the job evaluation exercise used for police officers. And Fiji's education system is a culmination of 200 years of development, says Education Minister. Good evening, I'm Akosita Tale and this is FBC News. A 28-year-old man is in police custody following the death of his wife early this morning. Here on Amy Street in Turek, it is alleged the suspect assaulted his 32-year-old wife following a heated argument whilst returning from clubbing in the early hours of this morning. Police spokesperson Anna Naisoro says the deceased, who has been identified as Losana McGowan, was allegedly assaulted and pushed by the suspect when she fell and hit her head on the concrete floor. The suspect then turned himself in at the Totonga police station and reported the matter. He is currently in police custody while investigations continue. The deceased McGowan is a former Fijian journalist and more recently worked with the Fijian Elections Office and the Secretariat of the Pacific Community. The Minister for Defense, Timothy Natuva, has defended the job evaluation exercise used for police officers who were part of the force from 2004 to 2011. He is responding to concerns raised by police officers who have been disappointed with the back pay that was issued on Thursday. Savera Tambua with the story.
In a written statement, the Minister for Defense, Timothy Natuva, has defended the job evaluation exercise process used in determining the police payout. He says 30% has been paid out, 6% of which was paid out every year over 5 years, from 2004 to 2009. Natuva explains the salary was calculated on a pro-rata basis from the period that they were employed, that is from 1st January 2003 to the salary at date of retirement, or 2011 for serving officers, adding that this was inclusive of the allowances if they qualify, meaning that not all police officers qualify for the entitlement. He adds the terms of reference for the task force was thorough and included a preliminary investigation, independent verification and audit. Natuva also says that Tebi Taralulu is not an executive of the former Police Officers Association. Yesterday, a number of police officers raised their concern about the amount of money they received in their payout. These officers included both existing and retired policemen. Attempts to speak to the minister on camera proved futile when this bulletin was prepared. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
Fiji's education system is a culmination of 200 years of development, says Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy. Reddy, who was the chief guest at the 75th Andhra Sangam Convention in Tavor yesterday, highlighted the importance of education in the development of the country. Christopher Chan reports.
This Easter weekend, a number of religious conventions are being held. Many are part of our history and depict the struggle by endangered laborers during the colonial days.
This vision was most probably formed under the cool shades of the mango trees that edged the cane fields, and they were most likely born out of the harsh conditions experienced by our hard-working endangered laborers, our forefathers.
Dr. Reddy says all these years education has concentrated on primary and secondary schools, but to be on par with the rest of the world, the focus must shift to tertiary level.
Fiji, of course, has paid heavily for its shortage of graduates. We keep hiring consultants and we keep paying hefty salaries for offshore graduates.
The government made a decision to set up 10 technical colleges this year to build capacity for education and training.
We can churn out our own graduates, we can think and create for our own nation an economy and a model that will enable our country to be independent in every sense of the word.
In recent years, the government has focused on education, pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into the sector to ensure every Fijian has access. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The Health Ministry has partnered with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, otherwise known as JICA, in an effort to increase awareness of non-communicable diseases. A 5-year project term was signed this week, aimed to create awareness on the prevention of such diseases. Shireen Lata tells us more.
Several experts from JICA will soon be dispatched to Fiji as part of a project with the Health Ministry, which is targeted at enhancing the wellness of community residents.
We will dispatch 2 Japanese experts to assist the technical transfer to Ministry of Health, and also we will accept some training from government of Fiji, and also we will provide some equipment to Ministry of Health.
The experts are expected to be in Fiji by June this year and will be in the country for 2 years. The project duration in Fiji will be for 5 years from 2015 to 2020 with a budget of $8.3 million.
After the expert will arrive here, they will evaluate the situation of Fiji and then decide what kind of the equipment will be provided to the Fiji.
Health Minister Chone Usamate says this is an important step in the fight against NCDs.
Non-communicable diseases are the biggest health issue in this country at the moment. It is a big issue in terms of diabetes and cardiovascular diseases, hypertension. It is the one thing that is causing most problems for all of our people. So we are very grateful that we can enter into a collaboration of this nature.
The project is also expected to be implemented in Kiribati. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
A United States Air Force C-17 military transport aircraft had to make an emergency landing at Nadi Airport yesterday afternoon. The plane was on its way from the Hickam base in Honolulu, Hawaii to Vanuatu with relief supplies when it developed technical problems and had to stop in Fiji. Airports Fiji Limited General Manager Air Traffic Management Issei Tundreu says the military aircraft landed safely with 28 passengers on board. The aircraft, which is called the Spirit of Kamehameha Imua, is a military cargo aircraft. Coming up after the break, revitalizing the coconut industry, a benefit for more than 100,000 Fijians.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Agriculture Ministry is working towards revitalizing the coconut industry that would benefit more than 100,000 Fijians living in the rural areas. Permanent Secretary Agriculture Uraya Waimbuta says the onus is now on Fiji to define their priority areas with a funding pool of $8 million available from the European Union. Maggie Boyle reports.
It's perhaps one of the most versatile fruits we know. The humble coconut can be used in its entirety, and it's a commodity that has continued to trade on the world market. According to the Ministry of Agriculture's Permanent Secretary Uraya Waimbuta, it's a sector they're working towards reinvigorating.
Another days for copra, and we have seen the increasing in the production of virgin coconut oil, so it is the value addition of this particular product. But for us, the revitalization program will always remain our priority. This is the rehabilitation, the replanting of the senile stand, because we have about 60,000 hectares of coconut here, and 70% of this stand is already senile, over 60, over 70 years old.
A critical aspect of this program is the value add, working smarter with the resources we have.
We want to move into producing less but of high value. So virgin coconut oil is one of the areas that we are moving towards. This is apart from the so many products that we can produce from coconut. We are doing that already in a small way. We have the Coconut Center in Taibuni. So these are some of the activities that is being undertaken as part of the ministry's program.
Waimbuta says while copra has had a helter-skelter performance, the industry remains profitable.
We used to produce that much, 40,000 tonnes. Now it's 7,000. But we are trying to revive it because about 100,000 to 120,000 people in the rural areas rely on this particular crop. So it's an important commodity. And it is also a buffer crop for those people in the rural areas.
Fiji joins other Pacific Island countries under the Coconut Project, facilitated by the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, aimed at reviving the commodity across the region. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Most Itoke are not registered in the Volani Kawambula, and this is a concern to the ministry. The chairman of the Itoke Land and Fisheries Commission, Ratu Isireli Vesikula, says to successfully stake a claim for land leases, Itoke have to be registered in the VKB. During a public consultation facilitated by the Itoke Affairs Ministry, Ratu Vesikula advised villagers of Kalambo and members of the community to register their young children if they are unregistered and also remove those that have died.
We, the Itoke, are so fortunate to have registered in the Volani Kawambula compared to others. But it's so sad to say that a number of Itoke have been irresponsible.
The Itoke Affairs Ministry has held similar consultations raising awareness on the services provided by the ministry. A handful of media practitioners and journalism students attended a workshop earlier this week to learn about the Sustainable Development Goals, which will soon replace the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs. Organized by the Pacific Islands Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, the workshop highlighted the need for the media to be well informed about the SDGs. Alan Stolz reports.
Deputy Secretary for Foreign Affairs Luke Ndaunivalu says Fiji has made good progress in striving towards meeting MDGs.
In this regard, some domestic initiatives that respond to this factor include the launching of Fiji's Green Growth Framework last year, as well as the establishment of the Pacific Islands Development Forum. The PIDF, as many of you know, is the only regional body focused squarely on addressing sustainable development issues in an inclusive manner by bringing governments, civil society organizations and the private sector to the table as equal partners.
In 2000, a selection of countries agreed to 8 MDGs, but with their expiry in September, leaders are now looking at sustainable development goals. In turn, journalists brought up a few challenges that they faced while working in the current environment. Head of the Journalism School of the University of the South Pacific, Shailendra Singh, says problems such as corporatization and more advertisements restrict space for stories and influence the type of stories journalists cover.
When you talk about engaging journalists, you need to understand these problems, and we need to collectively, this is what we've been discussing, right? We need to collectively address these problems. And I think in that sense, Piengo has done a wonderful thing today, organizing this workshop for journalists and helping, train them and inform them and educate them.
Under the SDGs, there are 17 new goals, which include issues that Pacific Island countries have been lobbying for a while, such as climate change, oceans and seas, and ecosystems, forests and biodiversity. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Fiji scrapes through to quarterfinals and lucrative offer for athletes at Pacific Games.
गुलाब तो कांटों में ही खिला करते हैं, दिए तो आंधी में भी जला करते हैं। खुशनसीब बहुत होती है वो शाम, दोस्त आप जैसे जिंदगी में जन्मिला करते हैं। हेलो हाय नमस्ते बुला पीजी, मैं हूँ आपकी मस्तानी शाम होस्ट जोसलिन नारायण। मस्त मगन गाने, ताज़ा खबरें और बहुत कुछ हर शाम 4 से रात 7 बजे तक राइट किया ऑन रेडियो PG2।
Welcome back. This is FBC Sports. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens has qualified for the quarterfinals of the Tokyo Sevens after an unconvincing 35-14 win over Hong Kong. The side had to struggle to overcome a determined opposition, but ran in 5 tries to register its second win in the tournament.
Quick for a big man, just a sweeper. They're lining up now here for Fiji. And here comes their first try. And it will be Nasila. Just showing why they are so dangerous. You mentioned it, Carlton, and a half a chance, and it's try time.
Yeah, one here for Fiji. Their big man's off Peel to White.
And being replaced by Apisai Don Malala as an Volvo goes on one of those characteristic Fijian runs. Defenders calls in. Side that scores kicks off, and there is Nasila Kunitani. He was provider in the first try. He delivers the third. He lead 21 points to 7, and they've got first possession again. There goes man of the moment, Nasila. He got too much pace. Free the legs, very going inside, outside, and then popping the ball up. Here comes Koton Biao.
Fiji will now take on England at 8:30 p.m. tonight in its final pool match. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens side got off to a scrappy start in its Tokyo Sevens title defense with a 19-10 win over Wales. The match showed glimpses of the team's attacking prowess, but were let down at times by handling errors.
Appear to be a nudge forward there, but runners here on the wide outside giving chase is Sam Cross looking to cut off Samisoni very, but Fiji have struck back as well. The support is there from Katonimbao. This is Jerry Tuwai again brushing aside. There's some weak tackling from Wales. It's still there, it's still on, and it's the captain, Osea Kolinisau, on the ball. Can't prevent Fiji again from moving it out to Kunatani on the angle. What a lovely angle that was from Rawanga. And that's as easy as that. And again, it all stemmed from that penalty against Wales. 2 tries now from Wales penalties.
Athletics Fiji has introduced an attractive cash incentive for athletes in the national squad to the upcoming Pacific Games. Gold medalists stand to receive $350, a move which is aimed at pushing out athletes to success in Papua New Guinea. Chalenda Takataka has more.
National squad members that finish first at the Pacific Games will receive more than just a gold medal. Athletics Fiji will award each gold medalist $350 and an additional $150 to their respective coach.
Well, the incentive is basically is based on encouraging the athletes to prepare well, and get themselves into the best shape as possible before the Pacific Games, so give them the best chance possible to bring back gold. First knock, Team Fiji is targeting 48 gold medals. Athletics, we in Athletics Fiji, we believe we can bring back 8.
This target will become even more attainable now that the association has decided to pay off the athletes' individual levies, where they had to pay $1,500 each.
When we came in, one thing that we said is you shouldn't have to pay to represent your country. It should be an honor and a privilege when you achieve that opportunity. And for Athletics Fiji, we've fortunate enough, and thank you to Shop and Save for coming on board as a sponsor, we're able to do a lot more other things financially to take care of these small matters.
The final trials for athletes was held today at the ANZ Stadium, and the national squad will be finalized next week. Chalendo Takavak, FBC Sports.
Boston White will take on New Caledonian club SSI in the final of the National Easter Basketball Championship today at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. The Raiwai-based club proved too strong for outsiders in the semi-finals, winning 43-22. SSI just managed to beat the University of the South Pacific 22-19 in a close encounter. The women's final is now underway between Chosen and Dynamic Reds. Amateur boxing is making its return to the country after a lapse of 2 years. Fiji Amateur Boxing Association is holding a program in Suva this evening to revive the sport and scout for talent for the upcoming Pacific Games. Chalendo Takadaka has more.
The weigh-in for the first amateur boxing program in the country in 2 years was hardly a fanfare. By 10 a.m., only a handful of boxers had turned up to register for the program tonight. but organizers are excited about the opportunity that lies ahead for these fighters.
It's very important because we're trying to revive the sport. The game that will be held today will be held under the IBA rule, which is the standard that boxing should be using.
The competition will be held at the Carpenters Fitness Center in Nasese. Some of these fighters have been training and waiting for this opportunity to test their mettle against other local boxers.
Tonight's competition, I just want to put everything that we've done throughout the past few weeks, all the training, all the hard work, the heavy runs in the morning, just see where that all takes me tonight, and just to see where I am.
The plan is to win all the fight, to put my record, set a good record, so that it will be good for my future. That's the plan.
The Fiji Amateur Boxing Association is eager to provide more bouts for local boxers to revive the sport in the country. Chalendo Dakadak, FBC Sports.
Mother is on track to defend its LICI Easter cricket title at Albert Park in Suva. The defending champions remain unbeaten in the competition and will face Australian side Western Suburbs in the semi-finals on Monday. Last year's losing finalists Suva Warriors will clash with Suva Crusaders in the second semi-final. The semi-finals will begin at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, with the finals to begin at 3 p.m. Upsets were created after defending champion Sheraton moved down the points table at the second day of the Shop and Save Hudson National Force Bowling Tournament. The side now settles in fourth place after losing to Suva 14-10 and also to Rewa with 13-12. Fielding top players like Curtis Ma and Tarun Kumar, the side earlier won against Lautoka 19-15 and thrashed Ba with 27-6. Meanwhile, the Rewa team is gunning to win this year's competition as they lead with 6 points. The bowling tournament continues at the Nandi Sports Club tomorrow. Generally, fine weather conditions prevailed over most parts of the country today. Today, temperatures remained in the 30s with 32 degrees providing the high of the day, recorded in Nandi, Lautoka, Ba and Lambasa. The capital and Savu-Savu posted the low of the day with 30 degrees. Tomorrow, fine weather in the morning and expected afternoon showers in the afternoon. Further outlook, few showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, moderate southerly swells. And recapping the main stories, a 28-year-old man is in police custody following the death of his wife early this morning. The Minister for Defence, Timothy Natuva, has defended the job evaluation exercise used for police officers, and Fiji's education system is a culmination of 200 years of development, says Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy. Now to our poll question. Are you satisfied with the services of your municipal councils? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizensize@fbc.com.fj or share it with us on our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from FBC News for tonight. Join us again tomorrow night where our news will be broadcast live at 9:30 p.m. after the Japan Sevens final. Nimo Demanda.